Cloaked in the shadows.
Amanda,
We're back for part two.
yeah, it's going to be habit this actually. We've got the wonderful Lee Payne with us again, part two. We've just done one the other night with somebody else who's gone for two parts, but this is because our guests are very talkative, so that's
Yes,
why.
we
So
do love
listen,
to
we've got
rabbit.
yeah, we've been dragged down a few rabbit holes already here.
Oh yeah.
Now, obviously, people who didn't hear the first part, wonderful tales. It was obviously the co-host of the podcast, Never a Straight Answer. Now, we didn't actually ask you in the first half of it. We all went
Yeah,
off all kinds of rabbit holes.
we did.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you that, and I know what
Yeah,
you as well, man. So, you better give us a quick background of Never a Straight podcast. Obviously, the podcast you run with your friend Gaz. Where did this
yeah.
podcast come from? We're going
Well,
from.
it's started at a job I was working at, and then this young lad come in, and then he was working, and then he was talking to some of my other colleagues about subjects like this, and then like I obviously went over to him and give him loads of information. He gave me loads of information. We just started talking every time. So every day we were going in, and it was like, "Did you hear about this?" That was one of my main things when I went in work. Did you hear about this? Did you know about this? Did you know about this? So, but I was doing it to everyone. But like we'd have a real good conversation and that, and then people were saying like, "Why don't you do like a podcast or something like that?" So then after a while, Gaz come up to me and said like, "Thinking of doing a podcast. Fancy doing it?" So I was like, "You know what? I'm not a celebrity, grabber or anything like that." And it was the case of, you know what? This is probably the best way of passing a lot more information that people really need to know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And like, they're not going to be in that shock state.
yeah,
Sorry.
great.
And so, yeah, so we went on from there, and then gradually, because it all started with just a mobile phone.
Oh,
Oh,
did
the
you? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, he really did. Yeah, he knows his stuff on the computers and that, and he's self-taught. So
Same for me, mate, as well, because when I started Spoken Late, I was doing it on Skype. And
yeah,
I know in person, in pubs everywhere I could basically do is, I mean, you learn as you go along a lot of it. And Amanda,
yeah.
what were you like at reading in bed on a joint podcast originally?
I think the first couple of episodes were a bit sort of difficult to hear. Mostly me, I think.
Yeah.
What we used to do, Lee, was we used to record, Amanda used to live in Cheetham Hill. And when we used
All
to do
right.
then that, and I used to record with my old phone. And you can hear me quite clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we got to the point where we just did it on Skype on the computer, and it was actually clearer. Like it sounded more like we were in the same room than when we were actually in the
Yeah.
same room.
And then right up to what we in lockdown 2020.
Yeah.
I basically you found out about Zoom, didn't you? So and we started using Zoom, and it was funny actually because what we used to do reading in bed was on Amanda's old computer.
Yeah.
We're in our space wonder in our study at the moment. I
Yeah.
used to keep capping into our little living room. I'd then ring Amanda on Zoom. We're in separate rooms talking.
Oh man, hey, it's great if it works. Oh, it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
it does.
we ended up doing that when we got guests, and it started like Zoom, and then pandemic come out, and we zoomed each other. Well, it was mostly Skype. We were skyping each other, and then it just went on from there. And then like the 50th episode, the 100th, the 150th, the 200, we always did like, well, let's sit down and show the show the viewers what we do when we sit down. This is how we kind of do it, and then answer some questions and stuff
Right,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, fair
And
play. No, fair play, mate. How often do you both do your podcasting? I know you're fairly regular with it, aren't you?
well, to be honest, no, not as regular as we both would want to.
Okay.
It generally works out to be once a week, but we're trying. We were on twice a week, but like we're because we've had such busy lives lately, and certain things have been there that it's been a bit difficult to like get together at certain points and actually do the show. But I mean, we've even talked about should we give it up, and it's like, you know what, no. So we both agreed that this is a good thing we've got here, and we want to expand it. We've been wanting to expand it for a long time, but it's just been like funding and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's same for us, 'cause like it's John to you, like Amanda in our case, isn't it? If we weren't living together, like I said, as a married couple, I think it's probably been more tricky for us, wouldn't it,
Yeah.
really? So, yeah. So, anyway, listen, we've digressed enough now. I want to go
Yeah.
into big topic of the day. Oh, well.
Oh
One
yes.
that I know is Lee's a big pet love is
Oh yeah.
UFOs.
Oh yeah.
I've got, Amanda, you've not set any questions on this, but do you have anything you want to ask him?
I could talk about my experience I had
Yeah.
oh my
You had
Talk about your
experience.
experience. I've got a question for
20
Lee.
years
I've
ago.
got opinions on it. I want to let Lee hear Amanda describe this.
Go for
Yes,
it.
about 20 years ago, I used to work as like a charity collector in pubs and clubs. And that used to be me just going around the pubs and clubs with a tin, and then the driver would drive me from place to place. And we
Yeah.
were going back late one night, and there were these weird lights in the sky. We were driving through like a woodland area. But the strange thing was, it's like the driver just carried on driving and didn't mention it. And they were really clear to see.
All
So it's
right.
like only I could see them. Or he was just ignoring them, which is also strange.
He might see him all the time, for all we know. Yeah.
And he might have been a Martian.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well, yeah, that's it. You did you experience any time delays or anything like that?
I don't think I wore a watch back then, so I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, because quite a lot of people don't realise that they've been abducted. This is another thing.
Yeah.
It's later on that they find out. I mean, and then even some people like, ah, well, I don't know, about 15, 20 years ago, something like that. Well, I've got like a little mark on my arm, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and it look, I think it's like a blood spot underneath, and it's just a part. But I often question, could that be something? You know what I mean? Is there a chance that I have been abducted? I just don't realize it. And then there was a question that come up the other day with one of our guests, and it's to do with the moon. Now, one of my big kind of questions on UFOs is they seem to know every single person's what they were thinking or where they are. It seems to be that, and the moon could be the very good clarification of being the base that you know could spot everything
Yeah,
because
I've heard that. Have you heard that one, Amanda? Yeah. Do you think they've just been on about the news recently, haven't they? Discovering massive, like, gaps inside the moon, inside massive epic caves. Now,
yeah.
I think myself there's more to that than they've actually told us, and I reckon they've known about this since at least the 70s, I reckon, as well. So,
Yeah, and it rang like a bell a number of times. I
probably that.
think it was 3 times that they dropped a part of the shuttle when they were leaving, and when it hit it, the first time I think it rang for 3 hours,
Bloody
and
hell.
then the second time it happened, I think it was only for about an hour or something like that. But for all we know, we could be sitting on one because we've only ever gone. The furthest we've ever gone down is 12.8 miles. That
Yeah.
we can't get any further. Coca.
Did you ever read the books growing up by Edgar Rice Burroughs called Journey to the Centre of the Earth?
Yes,
Yeah, I keep
yes.
thinking of that one. And have you heard of that series?
I've heard of it, not read
Yeah,
it.
oh, they're very dated now. They're good
Well,
fun. They're a guilty
yeah.
pleasure nowadays. They're all sold somewhere.
Well, have you ever heard of Captain Bird? No, Admiral Bird. Admiral Bird's
No,
his
no, that's
mission.
not a lot one. Yeah, what's that one?
Well, that's well. Funny enough, when you was talking about Atlantis before, yeah, there's a possibility that I think that the at what's it called at the top of the Antarctica is
Hmm.
possibly it possibly might be Atlantis, possibly. But then Germany, supposedly Hitler had gone there as well. But so when the story went that Hitler had the submarine base there, um, Admiral Byrd was sent by the president to with I think it was like 45 ships and like aircraft carriers and like 40,000 troops, something like that, to go and have a look and see that if he has, we can finish him off there. So Admiral Byrd first decided, right, we've got there. I'm going to fly my plane and have a little recce around the area and see, if we've got any spots. So he supposedly had flown through like a kind of like a time warp kind of thing, because he
Hmm.
spotted a big hole in the top. So he flew near it, and then for some reason, it was like gravity and all that was messing around with him and pulled him in. And he'd written his diary after he died that he'd gone in there, and it was beautiful. There was a sun in the middle. It was very lush and like very
Hmm.
technical for the future. It had flying saucers. He landed. They told him to leave and basically stop wrecking the outside of the earth because it's going to affect them inside. So it's a case of okay. So he left there, and then he got back on his ship, and then they did a little searching, and then I don't know, maybe a couple of days afterwards, these UFOs come out and actually was shooting at the troops and actually destroyed a couple of vessels. So he ended up going back, and when he come back, he like told the president that basically we have flying objects around that there is no possible way we could fight, and they've basically told us to stay away. And I believe that's the same thing that happened in the moon.
Wow. Yeah, it's unbelievable. What do you reckon? It's unbelievable, that man. Yeah. Now, the other thing, I've got a couple of topics I want to ask you about today, I'm conscious
Yeah,
of the time today as well, is the other big theory I've read about, done recently as well, I want to know what your opinion on this
yeah.
is was there life on Mars, and did life from Mars come over here?
Uh, I think the more plausible answer to it is that we used to live on Mars,
Yeah, I
but
believe
then
so.
we something happened. There was another planet between us, and apparently that's why we've got no, sorry, there's a planet between Mars and Jupiter, and that's why you've got
That's the
the
asteroid belt, yeah. I always
yeah,
believe in that, yeah. Have you heard of that, man? The
yeah.
asteroid belt, yeah. That
But
always come across to me because I've done a lot of astronomy research. That always looks like a fragmented planet straight away.
yeah, but we're finding now we're not that belt is different to how we believe it to be, because it looks like there's very possible that there's small planets in there.
Yeah, they're about the same. And it's
Yeah,
are we only both feel like they just announced that Saturn recently they
yeah,
discovered another 62 moons. Yeah,
yeah. And Jupiter got an extra 12 moons as well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Saturn's got, I forget what Jupiter 94 moons or something now, and
uh,
Saturn's got
I think it's something
145.
like 96.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
I know he's in the top 90s, but yeah, but we're discovering all the time, you know what I mean? But we shouldn't have the blasé to literally turn around and say there's nothing out there. We have no right to turn around and say that, because it's either we are the beginning, because everything has to start somewhere. We are either the beginning, or we're a part of a project that like other species that have put us like made us kind of thing. Because the way I'm getting the information back is like we are special in such a way that they don't want us to know they're there. That is one of the things. They do not want us to know we're there. They're there, and that's a part of the government's process to try and stop people realizing what's going on.
yeah.
But
Okay.
if they keep turning up, we're going to spot them.
Yeah, you do is it's like you look at certain parts of the country, don't you? And
Yeah.
it's like it has got more and more busy.
Yeah, that's only because people are now looking up more. I mean, the what 30, 20 years of like people saying, oh, you're a weirdo, you're a wally, you don't know what you're talking about, blah blah, this that and the other. And it's like, well, look at the facts now. Even the Pentagon has now turned around and said there are objects there, which AUPs, which by the way, AUPs are ours, UFOs are theirs, basically. UAPs are actually governmentals, yeah, but they want us because there's the story of Van Braun. Van Braun, who made the V2 rocket for Hitler to fire over the land. Well, after Project Paperclip, he was put into NASA because he designed that major rocket to get a rocket us up into space. And his last words on his deathbed were that their last process, because it's fighting with Russia, then it's fighting with terrorism, then it's fighting with China and every other country, basically, which is happening now. And then the next event will be an alien invasion. Now, this alien invasion will be fake. It will be fake all along it, and it's an extra thing of if something happens, who do you turn to? You turn to the government. If you turn to the government, they've got all the power over you now.
Yeah, I believe that. You could definitely argue that with that sort of thing where the propaganda and they do it to manipulate you. So.
Yeah, well, there's an
Amanda.
FBI.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Amanda, what do you think?
I feel like it's the only way that everyone will be united as well. It's like for something else from another world to come.
Yeah. It's but more and more people are spotting which is good, and it opens up their eyes. But there's still that thingy on it.
Having lockdowns done that to people a lot. I think you're right a bit.
Totally.
When you all got locked inside, like fair enough. I got leave the flat for when we lived for a year because I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
Whether that was a sculpture or not, I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah.
But it really drove me to mad. And then in Amanda's case, it couldn't get to go and see her family. Like it came across like exercise and cruelty at one point. But it did force people to be more reflective, whatever the government wanted or not. That's a lot to improve it.
I actually found over the years that those who are not working find a lot more have the time to look for the information. But these days, we're always busy. We're always busy. It doesn't matter what it is. We're always busy. We bring computers in, make it easier so we've got more free time, but we don't get it.
No, I agree. I want to touch on one other topic before we wrap up today.
Yeah.
It's a bit different as well. And this is a topic that's close to Amanda's heart, is AI.
Oh, right, okay.
I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Right. Amanda, is there anything you want to ask Lee? I don't know if you're an expert on this, Lee, but we're going to soon find out.
Nothing in particular.
Yeah.
I know more than I want to.
Yeah, tell Lee about your background. Something Lee's got to say about this.
I've been a copywriter for 3.5 years, and recently all my work's dried up, and I'm in lots of different groups with people that have got far more experience than me, and they're experiencing the same thing, and some of them have even been told, "Oh, we're using AI now."
Yeah, the AI is, I think a lot of, especially the top 1% have got it right. Kind of, it is a dangerous thing. It's like the internet. Let's put it this way. It's like the internet. The internet, when it first come out, great, wicked, everyone loved it. But then it turned into a Pandora's box. It had so many options to destroy and to give and to manipulate that the powers that be could put stuff in the way, but then that loses our freedom to talk to each other. Like, I won't be able to say certain things on your show or our show because it gets turned off on certain platforms, and them kind of things are like things that are important to today. You know what I mean? And,
I've noticed that on the spoken label a few times now. I'm not bothered looking into it. Some bad man remember it. It's like on some of my spoken label episodes, some of the platforms there's 280 odd episodes, some there's 275. There's obviously something that they've analysed and they like it. So it's keywords into all it, don't you? So
yeah. And there was actually a BBC programme I watched yesterday, actually, talking about are they going to come sentient? If it comes sentient, then like where do we go there? But I believe it already has, because there are things out there at the minute that show not as much now, but did not that long ago, about how, like, let's say your kettle is a digital kettle and your digital fridge is it's taking stuff from your kettle or your fridge is it's doing its own thing. And don't forget, not that long ago, Facebook brought something out that actually decided to do its own thing, and they had to turn it off.
Oh, I've read that. Yeah, I've read. Did you read that, Amanda? That's about the Keckles like taking data and stuff like that. I've seen that can sit down in the fridge after. Have you read that one?
No, but I've had like weird experiences before. Like obviously, when you search for something online, it'll come up as an advertisement.
Yeah.
But I've had it before where I thought, actually, I might be interested in doing ... and not actually said it out loud or search for it. And then the next day, it's come up as an ad for her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Perfect example. Last night, I spoke to a producer rapper. Last night, I'd never seen him before. He put down his like his site so I could have a look at his videos and that. Went on it and it's called Bretta what is it, bread buttered or something, right? So then today I'm getting loads of stuff to do with bread, everything to do with bread, and it's like, no, I'm listening to a song, I don't want to hear about bread. But I said to my boss, not that one of my bosses years ago went, right. Well, he actually said to me, because I said to him, be careful what you say around your phone and stuff. So what he did is he went, right. He went on, put his phones on the side, went outside with his missus and said, right, we're going to talk about going to Barbados, yeah? We'll leave it at that, and then let's see what happens. So come back in, started talking about it within 2 minutes. Bang, all right, cool. Yeah, we've got Barbados, blah, blah, this, like, very cheap, guys. All the stuff you want. And it's like, it just shows you, you're carrying around a sneaky device. And I absolutely hate that one that sits in the corner. Absolutely hate them. You might as well get a spy standing there or a policeman standing there and going, all right, let's write everything you say. Blah, 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 blah. And there's a new law that's just come in. There's just a new law that's just come in through Parliament in Britain, which states that any encrypted messaging services, your VNPs, devices to make you look like you're somewhere else, it's going to be illegal.
I knew that had come through. I didn't know that. I know it's ironic actually, and I don't know what the podcast I'm on to listen to. I listen to quite a few, and I'm a big football fan actually. I'm Man City fan, which is not relevant.
Oh, you're not, are you? Oh,
I am. So we'll keep off that. But what we have done a few times is interesting is not on one of the podcasts, which I'm not going to name. It's a great podcast, I'm not going to name it. Is they've been advertising VPNs, and I thought to myself, well, that won't be on that podcast much longer then.
Yeah, I don't use VPNs really, because it's.
Yeah, I had to turn mine off because it wouldn't let me on the website. I swear to God, I'm not dodgy websites.
I found a lot of stuff that comes out has already been pre sorted out, basically. Like WhatsApp. WhatsApp was a case of your messages were all hidden. No, they weren't. You just didn't know. You just thought they did. So any new device like that comes out, I always got in the back of my mind that, hold on, this has already been processed. It's the same trick what the CIA did, which was good. Or was it the FBI? I think it was the FBI, which the FBI did in the deep net. Basically, they set up. They're in the corner of the deep net, and they set up some conversations and that, and they had. There was a big case about it not that long ago. They had something like 35,000 pedos, but they all bar I think about 10, or maybe less than 100 got away with it because there was some stuff in there. But they sneak. It was like the iPhone where people couldn't get in, but because they already had the spy kit in there. Whatever you've got, your TV's got the spy kit in it. Yeah.
I'm glad to say, mate, we don't have a TV, so we're not going to have one.
Right. But you got a phone.
Got a phone? Oh, you got a TV. I've got phones, yeah. So I've got spin the loads around the garbage, yeah. So anyway, listen, mate, we're going to wrap up now. Anyway, so I want to give you a chance to obviously plug your podcast. I think we've both been playing this today, Barry. It's actually been lovely. So again, the name of your podcast that you and Gaz do, and where can they find it? And
It's Never a Straight Answer podcast. We named it after NASA because they never told the straight answer. It was a very good in the late '90s and early '90s. That was the main thing for like NASA and that. So yeah, we've got loads of stuff on there. We've got like over 200, I think, or 290 shows there.
Respect. It's a
Um,
lot of work the pair of you putting that one, mate.
yeah, we just been dedicated to it, and whenever we have the time or the effort, we like to put it out there. But we've also got stuff that we sell. But if you go onto our website, Never a Straight Answer co.uk, there's loads, absolutely loads on it. It's just been revamped as well, and we've got some new stuff that are coming in. We're getting a newsletter as well.
Oh,
Gaz is on the newsletter at the minute, trying to sort that out. Yeah.
very posh.
Uh, but yeah, we're also on YouTube. We're on every single platform you can think of. If we're not on there, we soon will be. Because I think we found something like 2 new platforms that come up, and it's like, right, bang, right, we're getting there.
You know, it's
We're
great, isn't
getting
it?
there.
Like people wondering because the RSS feed,
Yeah,
you know what age you can dump it all kinds of places and there's how it pops up.
yeah,
I've done
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And there's so many topics from like ghosts to like how did the second Superman die, or certain words. What did certain words mean? Like never take candy from a baby. We did the story on that as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
know the second Superman story is interesting. Listen, we'll come on to that another day.
yeah,
We'll bring you back on, mate. So we'll have a talk about all stuff. I've enjoyed it.
yeah.
And
Anytime, man.
I've news to tell us yet. News to tell everybody Monday. The man that doesn't like a guest, she grabs my hand and starts squeezing his hand. Get him off. Get him off.
That's shut you up.
Controlling you, controlling you. I wish I had someone like
Listen, mate, we'll wrap up anyway. We'll put you off
that.
mic
Okay.
anyway, mate. So, well, it's been a pleasure, mate. I've really enjoyed today. I know,
Uh,
mate.
and I've enjoyed being on. I'm happy to come on again anytime.
Love to have you on again. We'll get you on in the future,
Yeah.
I promise you, mate. So, right,
Definitely.
guys and girls.
Cheers.
Amanda.
Sleep tight, everyone. Don't let the aliens get in.
Well, so we've sent them up to Lee. Yes, get sorting out for you, baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But, everybody, guys and girls, see you all next time. See Cloaked in the shadows, cloaking into the shadows.
Cloaked in the shadows.